Hi guys, welcome back to the Mental Nine Line. One of you, a very precious Marine it seems, who was enlisted and then shifted to the officer side, made a comment a few videos ago about dying on the battlefield and how much easier that was than coming home. I 100% agree, and I made a comment in reply that we would talk about that, so we're going to answer that question for today. Many of you have voiced a desire or even taken action to go to Ukraine and fight for the Ukrainian people and for freedom and all of those other wonderful things. But I would really encourage you to think about why you want to continue to fight. Why the need? Why is the need so great to stop everything in your personal life for your wife, children, whoever that may be, or just for you professionally if you're not married or don't have kids, and go overseas and fight for a country that we're trying to not become involved in? Personally, I have called this Lieutenant Dan syndrome for years. And if you remember back to Forrest Gump, right after Lieutenant Dan is in the hospital, Gump is there with him. He is pulling him off the rack in the middle of the night. He's got him on the floor, and he says, "It was my destiny to die. I was meant to die on the battlefield with my men."
I had a destiny. I was supposed to die in the field with honor. That was my destiny, and you cheated me out of it.
So when we look at Lieutenant Dan's situation, there's a lot going on. We have a loss of identity, we have a loss of purpose, grief for major limbs being gone. What do I do now? There was at least one man in every generation of my family that died in a conflict or war in the fight for freedom, and Lieutenant Dan has not been able to fulfill that destiny in his mind. So when we look at his character, all we're going to focus on for today is the destiny piece, where he feels cheated out of dying with his men. So for many of you, the personal agreement that you make with yourself and sometimes God or even the U.S. government is that the last time you are to see America is when you are getting on the plane to go overseas. You have made the agreement and you are at peace and have accepted that you will not be coming back. So coming back is a lot more difficult than simply dying with honor and a lot of dignity. No one ever badmouths any casualty. No one ever talks bad or ill about those who died at war because they have paid the ultimate sacrifice. And so many of you come home with a lot of self-hatred, hatred for the government, hatred for war, hatred for the enemy. It is just an overwhelming amount of pain that you're dealing with. Having seen so many of you for so many years, I can tell you that part of the issue is you are losing people on deployments who are expecting to be married, who have babies on the way, or who already have small children. And so when you've returned home and they haven't, a lot of thoughts in your mind are, I deserve to be punished, or I should have gone and they should have lived. They had a wife, they had children, they had babies on the way. I didn't have any of that. I don't deserve to be here. So when you think about seeking out danger or seeking out the desire to die yet again in such an honorable way, it's really working toward redemption. So maybe it's not Lieutenant Dan syndrome, maybe it's redemption syndrome, I don't know. But when you think about it, when we lose those people who are so close to us, who quote unquote have so much to live for, and we're just a single young guy at 21 or 22, it can really create this false sense or this false idea that we should have died and not them. And ultimately, that is nothing within our control. Sometimes we have to realize that the ultimate decision maker in those type of scenarios is God, and there really isn't anybody else. And so that leaves us being incredibly angry with not just the world, but with God as well. So think about the redemption piece, what that means for you, how that looks differently than maybe your other deployments or even people that you know. Maybe they have dealt with something similar or in a neighboring capacity. So hope that was helpful. Thank you to the Marine who made the wonderful comment. I wish you all the very best. So part of my job is to help you all get unfucked, but if you're curious about how fucked you actually are, you can go online and take the FUBAR assessment at laurenrich.net.